Good morrow to you all. You have fallen on bad times.
Brought to you by the Royal Holloway Shakespeare Society.
You join me, Theo Dudridge.
And me, Subhan Hay, as we bear some bardy truths.
Hello everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Bad Times. This episode, I'm joined by the President of Dance Society, Milly Marshall. Say hi, Milly.
Hello.
How are you doing?
I'm not too bad. How are you doing?
I'm pretty decent. Tired, but we move.
Yeah, I feel that. Definitely feel
the
that.
third year stress. It's the third year stress.
It really is.
Milly Marshall is the current president of Dance Society, as I said before. She was the first year rep of Dance Society in her first year. She was the communications officer in her second year. She's performed in various dance shows, and I think her top tier role at the uni was Toadette in Supercar in her first year, as well as directing various things for MTS and other societies. That was a lot.
Yeah.
So, I think we'll start off by asking you, because you've been on committee every single year at Holloway, going from first year rep to communications to now president, how are you finding it? How's your 3-year arc been at Holloway for Dance Society?
Yeah, I guess we can put it like that. I really have been on committee the entire time I've been at uni, by like 3 weeks. I don't know, I just love being on committee. I just think it's such a unique experience. I just think it's something that everybody should try at least once. And I feel like first year rep is such a good kind of starting point to see how committee runs. And then last year, I with the communications officer, I did all the marketing and the graphics. Obviously, I did it in the pandemic, nice. I also did all of the editing as well. And I kind of took a different, all of the challenges I did not think I was going to have to face, but it's definitely good, and kind of got me a few internships over the summer, so it was definitely really good life experience. And then president this year is so fun. It's such a unique experience. It's stressful at times, I won't lie.
It is what it is.
Yeah, but it is definitely so rewarding.
Amazing stuff. So obviously, to become a first year rep for sort of any society, they normally go through sort of an AGM process. So by the time this episode goes out, we would have elected our first year rep, hopefully. If we haven't, I'll cut this bit. But we would have recently had our AGM to elect our first year rep. So as mentioned earlier, you were the first year rep of Dance Society. What was that experience like for you? How did you sort of get involved? What convinced you to kind of run for the role, and what sort of things have you had to do?
So I think it was definitely something that I didn't really know about until it was kind of just brought up to me, and they're like, "Oh, I think you should run," and I was like, "Huh? Run for what? What are you talking about?" And I'd already kind of seen the committee working, and it already been something within the few weeks of uni that I was like, "Oh, I want to do that next year," but I realised I could do that year. And the way it works at Dance Society is that the first year rep helps lead the volunteering team, and our volunteer. Yeah, so our volunteering team volunteer with kids in the community, teaching them dance lessons for free. And that's something that I've been doing for years back home. And it was I was like, oh, that's so fun that I could still get to do that. So that was one of the things that kind of steered me towards the role in the first place. So as first year rep, I kind of helped take a lead on the volunteering project, which I've kind of now taken on as well this year, because we don't have a volunteering and charities rep, so I'm kind of helping to support the VP this year. And then also I kind of we did a fun little Christmas social, trying to get to know each other, where we decorated gingerbread men and watched nativity. So that was really fun. It was really wholesome. And then we just had a group chat, and then our first year rep always choreographs a first year number. So nice. We have a slot on the timetable where it's just first years doing a number together. So it was really nice. It was a really nice opportunity to just get to hang out with the first years. And it was basically just organizing socials for just first years, and just being that point of contact. And it's really good because you get the insight into committee without having a lot of the committee responsibilities. It's quite a chilled role if you want to kind of test out the waters of committee. And then it was definitely easier for me to then run for committee in the next year when I already knew a lot about all the roles in committee, so it's definitely easier to make my decision about what role I wanted to run for.
Nice. That's incredible. And now, having done communications in your second year and now ran and got the role of president for Dance Society, how are you finding that? And based off your experiences from being the first year rep, what sort of things have you kind of taken on from that, and how has that kind of influenced your I say influenced your presidency? Let's make it sound like a sort of tyrannical rule, but like how do you say your experiences from first year have kind of influenced the sort of, I guess, the way you've kind of led Dance Society this year so far, and how you've kind of structured committee?
Yeah, I think the way that like the benefits of being in committee for 2 years, you see the pros and cons of committee both years, if that makes sense. Like you see what goes well and like what doesn't work. And I feel like, as I was saying, like first year rep is such a unique role in that you kind of get to, because there's like you get to kind of talk to different roles on committee, and the same with marketing officer, like you kind of are involved with lots of different roles on committee rather than just one thing, and you get to liaise with lots of different committee members. So in first year we also didn't have an events officer, so I took quite a lead on like running the our February showcase. And then like throughout the pandemic, communications officer went back abroad, so then I kind of started taking on the social media, so I was just kind of like picking up jobs in first year that like other people didn't have the time for, which meant that I kind of got to see a sense of everybody's role. So now as president, I feel like I have quite a good knowledge of what everybody does in committee, what is like kind of expected of them, but also like what I can take off their plate, because as president it is just about overseeing everybody and making sure everything gets done. So it's just kind of like having a good knowledge of what everybody does, and also kind of knowing like when there's things that you can take off them that's not necessary for them to do, because there's like almost kind of nothing worse in committee when like a job gets left to you when like it's not your job and you kind of don't have a lot of time and you think not my job, but as president everything is your job, so so yeah, you never use that excuse.
You gotta be prepared to kind of step up to the plate at the last minute. Now that's really interesting. And kind of segueing on to sort of the next question, we're kind of moving away from Dance Society now, because as also mentioned in the long introduction, you've also you've been a part of various societies over your time at Holloway, and you've actually had the chance to direct as well. You've directed a few numbers for musical theatre last year for, I think, is it Fame that you directed some stuff for?
So I actually directed for In Your Dreams, Fame, and
that was it.
Live and Live in Colour. So
all
nice. 3 of their shows last year, actually.
All 3 of them. Incredible. So what's that experience been like for you, and what sort of skills have you learned from that?
So it was actually with In Your Dreams, it was the first time I'd actually sat on audition and an audition panel, so that was like a really insightful experience into how like auditions worked. I'd been an auditionee, but I'd never actually like sat on the panel, and it's like such a fun experience, like getting to sit there. Obviously all the auditions were online, and then it was going through the whole process of like casting day, and it's like the different stress of like being a cast member, it's like, have I been cast, but like being a crew member, it's like I want, like it's just such a different feeling.
I've been there.
It's such a different feeling, but it's so like it's so exciting. And then we had a few, I directed a couple of numbers in person actually, which was like, we probably got the first like half of the first term last year, which was really exciting to direct in person. And I just remember this really like nice moment that I was directing a duet, and then like I just like stepped back and they like did it back to me, and I was like because it was such an emotional number, I was like, oh, okay, this just like, you know, like something you worked on like come together. It's just such a nice feeling. And then we like seeing the finished the product was like really nice afterwards. And then for Fame I just ended up directing a few numbers, choreographing a few numbers, and being a featured dancer. So it was quite interesting because usually you would only obviously do crew or cast, but
Yeah.
the uniqueness of an online show just meant that I ended up doing 2 crew roles and performing, which was really fun. Definitely something to do over the 3rd lockdown, kept me busy.
Yeah.
Which was like, yeah, because In Your Dreams was kind of more like directing through song, whereas Fame, when I directed, I was directing like scenes and stuff. So it was really nice kind of like difference between like kind of getting to like dabble, I guess, in all the different kind of aspects of directing.
Yeah.
But it would definitely like gained quite a lot of skills, and it would definitely be interesting one day to like direct an in-person show. Since I've only really done like online bits and bobs. And then yeah, for Live and Live in Colour, it was again like directing like through song and stuff. So yeah, lots of kind of like different things last year. Definitely did quite a bit.
So, little fun fact, we were on a bid team in our first year for back when MTS variations were a thing. The bid didn't get accepted, but both of us, as you've mentioned, like both of us went on to do various crew roles for other societies. You directed for MTS, I DSM'd for Shakespeare and went on to do various other things. So I'm going to ask you to kind of improvise a concept for a show, specifically a Shakespeare show. So with your background in dance and your knowledge of kind of musical theatre, drama, English, which we will come to for your degree, if you could come up with a concept for a Shakespeare play to bid, what would it be and how would you do it?
So I kind of I think so I really do love ballet adaptations of Shakespeare. I feel like I wouldn't be a dancer and an English student if I said I didn't like ballet adaptations. And I've always thought like a ballet adaptation of A Midsummer Night's Dream would just be absolutely gorgeous.
That would be incredible.
Like it would just be like I could just see like Matty Bourne, you know, like it would just be incredible. And like I can just see like Puck. I'm just like I can like envision the ballet steps. Not that I could bring those steps into fruition, but like I would just really would love to see a really like unique ballet adaptation of Midsummer. Really probably staying like to quite classical, like I quite like quite classical adaptations of Shakespeare. So probably would kind of stick to that. I probably quite rogue probably to answers you've got before.
No, like that is incredible, because I think with a production like Midsummer Night's Dream, it's kind of rooted in fantasy, and obviously especially when you get to like the summer court with Oberon and Titania and everyone else, you kind of need that kind of mystical element. I can't remember if I think it was the Bridge Theatre production. They had a song playing just before the interval. I can't remember what one it was. It was a pop song, and there was just a moment where everyone was kind of dancing. Everyone was just kind of they were involved in the audience. They were throwing like these inflatables like around the room. I think something like that. I think a ballet for Midsummer would work really well, partly because of like the beautiful nature behind it, because you have that contrast of the chaos with Helena and Hermia kind of running around, and then these like beautiful dance sequences. I could see that really working, and I think as a concept for
there's a lot of like movement. You always have a lot of like, as you say, like chaos movement sequences in Midsummer with like all the like the deceit happening, which were just like the perfect dramatic like point sequence. I could just see like I can just vision ballet dancers, like I could just see it on the stage, like very similar to like points but that you have in like the Nutcracker. Like very like similar vibes.
Nice. I really like that. The reason I kind of bring that up, and this is kind of a shameless plug, but very soon we're going to be opening up bid applications for Shakespeare. So if anyone listening is a student at Holloway and wants to put a bid together, bid pack information will be going out soon. We also have a bid workshop, which by the time this episode goes out will have already happened. But that being said, there are a committee kind of on hands to help out with any kind of crew role queries, like questions or qualms. If you're not sure what show you want to do, or if you've just got an idea and you want to like get a group of people together to try and bid it, then that's what spring term bids are for. They're really fun to do. Would recommend doing it, and everything's a learning experience. So 100%, 100% go for it. So, you are currently studying English at Royal Holloway. Having just talked about this amazing Midsummer Night's Dream concept, what has your relationship with Shakespearean text kind of been like, both generally and on your course?
So I feel like it was kind of came to no surprise to my family when I turned around and was like, I want to do English. Like, fun fact, my entire family basically do science. They're science and maths people.
My dad does science as well, so yeah, doing drama is a bit of a
dad
wild
and my
card,
sister both have maths degrees. My mum did biochemistry. Brother wants to be an engineer, like that kind of thing. And I was like, English.
Nice.
But like, as a kid, I always had like a fascination with books. Like, I remember I had like the Osborne children's Shakespeare.
Oh, nice.
I don't know if you've ever been to I actually saw it. I went to Shakespeare's birthplace as like a pre-third year like English student weekend away. I was just getting myself inspired back into the like into English, and I saw it there, and it was like bringing back the childhood, like so I feel like from an early age I already had like quite a familiarity with Shakespearean texts. I actually played Helena in A Midsummer Night's Dream when I was 10.
Nice.
As part of my theatre school, which was really fun. So yeah, from literally the age of probably about 8, I've been quite familiar with Shakespeare, which is quite young, I guess, because I think a lot of people don't really get introduced to Shakespeare until probably about secondary school. And I was almost like quite disheartened when Romeo and Juliet was picked for us in GCSE, because it's just kind of like, I know this story, like I want to study something else, like something just I was like, oh really, like this one, like this is just like, I just really wish you could like pick something different. And then at like A level, we did Much Ado About Nothing, and I literally fell in love with that play. Like, it is my favorite Shakespeare play. Like, I'm simply just obsessed. I like watched these 2 incredible adaptations. I watched one at the Globe, which was like a Mexican adaptation of Much Ado, and it was so cool. Like, the music was just incredible, and obviously anything you see at the Globe is incredible, so like just kind of adds to that. Then I watched like a touring production where it was set in World War II, which was actually like, it was so cool the way they did it, and I just like, I always just find Benedict just absolutely hilarious. So kind of from like A level, that whole experience with Much Ado is kind of what made me kind of fall in love with Shakespeare, because at GCSE it was just so like, I kind of fell out of touch. And coming to degree, so the way the English course works, that a single honors English student in their first year studies 12 Shakespeare plays in their first term.
Wow.
So it is a new Shakespeare play every single week.
That is insane.
But it is insane. It is almost like a whistle stop tour through like history, like tragedy, comedy. But it would like, I loved it. Like, loads of people were just like, it was just too much, but I really, really liked it, because it was the first time I read like The Winter's Tale. It's actually the first time I read Hamlet, like, and I watched so many like really incredible like adaptations. Like, I watched like a drag adaptation of Hamlet. Don't know if you've ever seen that, Theo. It's on a Drama Online if you want to check that out.
I might give it a check out at some point.
Yeah, it's really cool. So then I kind of moved, after that I was like, okay, I want to, the way like the course works is that you then, after that, you can then do something called intensive Shakespeare in your second year, which then we go on to study Richard III, Midsummer and Macbeth. So we studied those, and then I'm now doing advanced Shakespeare in my third year.
Nice.
So yeah, I very much like, it's optional after first year, but I'm very much have taken the option. And we kind of in third year we're going to be doing like the problem plays. So
Fun.
measure for measure, and
Yeah.
so it's fun. Like it's definitely like early modern is like a requirement that we kind of do. So Shakespeare
Yeah.
kind of crops up in all elements of my degree, and I love it. As I said, I went to Stratford upon Avon. If anyone's not been, please do go, because have you been, Theo?
I don't think I have. However, we are in talks of possibly, and this isn't confirmed, but very much this could not go ahead. But I think we're in talks of possibly doing a trip in the summer to Stratford upon Avon.
It's definitely worth it. Like the going around all the houses, it's like if you love history and you love like Shakespeare, like it's just like picturing like where he would be writing like certain plays and stuff, and
Yeah.
like just the whole atmosphere, like the whole place is just, we went to like a 1940s inspired like tea room and stuff, which was really cool. Like everyone was like dressed up. We even had like ration books as stuff. It was just cool. It's like, you know, like when you just go to a place that's just kind of its own little world.
Yeah.
Stratford upon Avon is one of those places, so definitely recommend going.
Nice. This is completely like, this isn't one of the questions, but I'm just curious to know, are you looking at continuing Shakespeare beyond further studies? Are you looking at doing a master's in it possibly?
So it's actually something I had considered for quite a while.
Yeah.
So I'd considered for a while potentially going into like dramaturgy
Oh, nice.
for a while. Or potentially looked at doing Kings do like a Shakespeare masters.
That's what I'm looking into possibly doing next year. So
Yeah, so I had considered that for a while, or I just considered working maybe in the academic outreach section of the Globe. It's definitely something I, especially at the end of at the end of first year, was kind of considering. But right now the plan is publishing and creative writing.
nice.
So that's the current plan. Kind of have a book in the works actually. So
Okay.
yeah, so exciting. So the plan is to, at the minute, do masters in publishing and creative writing, but I feel like most third years can vouch that I feel like we're just kind of winging it at this point.
Yep.
We're just kind of exploring our options.
Yeah.
But it was actually my dad that planted the seed in my brain and was like, are you sure you don't want to do Shakespeare? Like, he was almost kind of shocked that I was moving away from like drama and Shakespeare probably for like the first time in my like entire life. So
Yeah.
you know, it's actually still something that like I'm looking into. I don't know. It's almost like I have so many things I'm passionate about and I don't want to let any of them go. And I'm like, how to do all of them? Yeah.
No, that's great. Yeah. So my final question that I have for you, all the Shakespeare plays that you've mentioned, which one is your favorite?
100% Much Ado. Like,
Nice.
I don't even have to think about it. Much Ado. Like, dream role is Beatrice. Like, 100%. Like, dream role Beatrice. Like, dream play to direct Much Ado. Would see that play every day of my life if I could. Like, I don't know what it is.
Just on cycle.
I just love it. Like, my final A-level essay was to what extent is Much Ado about about nothing a comedy, and I literally just had the best time of my life writing that essay. Don't know, I feel like a lot of people disagree with me, but you know, it is definitely my favorite.
Nice. So before we round off the episode, I just want to ask you, this is completely free reign. Have you got any dance society events that are upcoming that you would like to promote on the podcast?
Ooh, free promotion.
Yeah, free
okay.
promotion.
So we have our Dance Society Winter Showcase. It's called Dancing Under the Stars.
Nice.
It's on the 4th of December in the SU. It's gonna be, so the theme is basically just stars. All of our songs are like all of our dances are to do with like partying, stars, like the galaxy, very like solstice kind of inspired.
Okay.
Which is getting really cute. Like think like PA ball back in our first year, but in a dance show.
Oh, that's a throwback.
It's such a throwback. That was such a good night.
Yeah.
So we have our showcase. We have a fundraiser next Wednesday, where we're fundraising for the Forest Estate Community Hub in Engfield Green, which, as mentioned before, is where we volunteer each week. Dancing, we actually have shameless plug promo for myself and the other volunteering team, but we won the Lieutenant of Surrey Award for dedication to our community throughout the pandemic.
Oh, nice.
So we're actually going to that award ceremony tonight.
Oh, incredible.
Really exciting. So yeah, presented by our guy Paul Ozell.
Incredible.
For like teaching throughout the pandemic, which is really exciting. So yeah, we have our fundraiser for them next Wednesday. I think that's probably our promo. Probably quite far in advance, but we've got our home competition 12th of March. So any support there is shout and roar Holloway would be great.
Yeah. I'll make sure to get it out in committee at some point. Be like, guys, we need to arrange a trip to do this. But no, that's incredible. That's incredible. So yeah, that's all we've got time for today's episode. Thank you very much, Milly, for coming onto the show, and it's been great to talk to you.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you very much for tuning into this episode of Bard Times. I've been your host, Theo Dudridge, and in the words of the Bard himself, when you do dance, I wish you a wave over the sea, that you might ever do nothing but that. Take care, everyone.